Good morning, everybody. Let's do it. Wake up with some optimism. Good morning, everybody. Get your pencil, your paper, get your heart ready. Let's go on a journey together. Here we go. Good morning. Bismillah. So I hope everybody woke up full of optimism, wanting to change some things, determined to be the one to make a difference. Be the game changer in your family, in your home, in your heart. The best war to fight before you go to war with anybody, and this is an advice to myself and to everybody else. I got so much to say this morning. I hope and I pray that Allah, guides me, because I'm full of emotion and I'm full of, I got anger in there too. I can feel some anger in there, but He gave me a voice and I'm gonna use it. So I hope that I reach not only my heart and I reach my own self and listen to and swallow my own words, that somebody out there can, take the advice and pay it forward, God willing. Anyway, like I said, every week I'm gonna start off with a word of poetry, because I respect poets, especially the good ones, the ones who their words ring for years to come after they long gone. I pray that my words are sincere this morning. I pray that we all get on board. Start sponsoring the station, y'all. If y'all want to keep this going, y'all want to grow, y'all want us to grow, y'all want us to keep going, because ain't nobody helping nobody, it seems. We all talk a good game, but when it comes to putting in the pot, we won't do it. And we need some help, y'all. We need some sponsors. So God willing, you see some good in what we're doing, especially like yesterday, the parenting with a purpose is necessary. We need that kind of stuff. Some parents just need to be in a group session and learn from another parent. If not your own parents that came before you, because what's going on in our households, man. Anyway, look, I'm gonna get into this poetry, inshallah, right? And on the flip side, we got a lot to say. Stay tuned. This poem that I'm about to play for us this morning is called "How to Be a Slave." It's by Buna Muhammad. I like Buna, he be getting me sometimes, and I like this one, How to Be the Slave, or How to Be a Slave. God willing, I'll catch you on the flip side, guys. Enjoy.
Back in the day, they say that I came from slaves, as though being a slave is something that would make me ashamed. Touché, homie. You would actually be amazed to know that we are all slaves. But in what kind of way? Some people submit to cigarettes, smoking 5 times a day. Some people worship money only to see it go away. A couple people put their faith in whatever the weatherman say, and some people even pray to the sun. But I wonder who created the sun anyways. Some people may tell you that life has no purpose. But some people are like pennies, two-faced and almost worthless. It's like a gift and a curse that hurts even in between, but even through curses, you can find gifts of hidden mercy from the only one worthy of our serving and fear, doing any and everything just for the chance to come near. So those slaves are always working, doing the same routines over and over again. You would think they were machines fueled by a gasoline that you wish you could see, but it's a long road to a sirat al-mustaqim. But becoming a slave is the only way that you will ever become free. This world is a prison house and I'm just serving my time like a G, locked up in solitaire. What can my enemies do to me when paradise is in the heart and servitude is all that I seek? From a place where materialism has become a new religion, where we always want more before we remember what we were given, where your children are not safe from the lies on TV, where role models pop bottles and pose nude for magazines. Welcome to the dunya, where things are not always what they seem, and your reality is more just like a really long dream, more like a traveler stopping for shade under a tree, more like a commercial break, and you already forgot what you were watching, silly rabbit. Every soul shall have its taste of death, and to Allah you will be brought right back. How man gets and forgets while he gives and forgives. Yes, everyone will die, but not everyone truly lives. On their hands and knees to the skies, begging, please do what is worthy of thee and not what is worthy of me. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. If not for his blessings, then we would have nothing. So I feel no ways calling myself his slave, no matter what they say. To him alone I pray, the greatest creator, accounter, and judge, the most holy king who sees all from above, the wisest protector, majestic avenger, the light and the guide, forgiving and kind, giver of honor, blessings, and peace, the first and the last, the truth ever living. What kind of fool would not want to give him all of their love? Why be a slave to this world when you could be Abdullah? Ya Allah. I'm a slave for you. I won't deny it. I'm not trying to hide it from these worldly tyrants and these dunya pirates. Please make your slaves united, delighted and excited, 'cause all good is provided for the rightly guided. And if you're undecided, don't think you ain't invited. Because yes, I am a slave, but no, I'm not alone. There are billions of us. You should join our happy home and bear witness to the one true throne. Strip your ego down, leave your arrogance at the door. And surrender yourselves to the one true king. May we all remain slaves until we return back to him. Subhanallah wa bihamdi, Subhanallah azim, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
Whew. Welcome back, y'all. Gotta get myself together. It's not easy, you know. Standing up for what's right in a world that's hell bent on being wrong, reiterating things that, you know, God washed the world over for, destroyed populations for, and it's like And my mind is like, how can you watch people go and buy the drug that made them overdose and killed and left orphans on the earth and get in the same line, what in the same drug? What's going on in the heart? Yeah, that's just a side note. Anyway, good morning again, everybody. I hope that you all are well. I hope that your families are well, and I hope that, I hope that a sign from God is given to you today, that he's listening to you and that he hears you and that he loves you. Don't feel exempt, that again, don't think that just because, you tripped up a lot over your own feet, meaning your own mistakes and your own downfalls, that it's not a chance for mercy and love and things to turn around for you. And the best part about that is waiting for it. Being used, after so much pain and after so much anguish, after so many things, there's nothing like that sunlight that comes on you. Even in the small things, there are great signs. Anyway, I wanted to get on here and talk about RIYYA. One day somebody asked me, and I asked Allah again to guide my words. I don't know everything. I don't know everybody, and I'm no scholar. I'm no sheikh. I'm just a layman Muslim or a layman believer, And when I read that helping others, you help yourself. And I know all of us got closets, and I know all of us got chapters in our books that we don't want read out loud. May Allah forgive us all. No one's better than the other. That's where all that hasad or envy and jealousy comes in. Be out of fear of what we got in our own closets, so we go try to expose someone else's. That's a trick of the devil. A'udhu billah. But now I wanted to get on here and talk about showing off, doing things to just be seen or heard, the most glittery, shiny, I gotta be the richest. I gotta have the tallest building. I gotta be the one. You're getting too much attention, and I go poking holes in your tires so that my car can look better than yours. Be your own brother, be your own cousin, be your own people that are, stuck in that realm of jealousy. Anyway, so to be seen of man and to do things just to get likes and comments and really, when I read about it, somebody asked me, what's my biggest fear? And that's one of my biggest fears, that, everything that I'm trying to do or that a believer tries to do, turn into dust, into nothing. You think you're getting into heaven. And when he show you your record, he say, you did that so you can get that girl. You did that so you can get that big old check. You did that so you can, it shows you everything, but you didn't do it for my sake. You got all the followers, millions of followers. You got all of this and all of that, but you didn't do it for my sake. It's called RIYYA. It's a disease in the heart, wanting to have, the attention all the time. There's different kind of ways to seek attention, but all the attention all the time. May Allah protect me from that. May Allah protect you from that, because it's a dangerous disease that'll have you, poisoning people with lies, or literally sometimes, as soon as, you want that person or that people or that situation to go away, so you can have the attention, so you can have the love, so you can have all, and you do nothing but rot it from the inside out. With hearts like that, those attentive, wanting attention behind hearts, that'll go into the extremes of befriending the devil and going into black magic and going into all those realms of harming your own family and harming your own people and it's all RIYYA. It's a vicious disease that sits in the heart that shouldn't be there, even if you got a smile on your face. Just the first side I want to talk about. And yes, that's my biggest fear. And yes, I'll shy away from, like I'm cool with sitting in here by myself and doing my segment. Alhamdulillah. But if somebody was here and I was around, I'll shy away. My words will probably get, because I'm afraid. Don't like what I'm saying for me, to like me, like what I'm saying, so we can cultivate, so we can grow, so God can be pleased with us and not just one person or one people, the whole of humanity, That's my heart. That's me. I can't take that away from me. Care how you try, backbite me, slander me, try to do what Allah said, God said, to our avowed enemy. the same one, the same creator who created that avowed enemy. He told him, give me respite so I can prove to you that they're not going to be worthy. Ungrateful. They go, we all know the story of Adam and Eve and all that, but inshallah we do. And God told him, yeah, you can have everybody that listens to you and doesn't love me. It's so many words. But these chosen few, these slaves over here, they mine. And it's nothing that you can do to distract them, because by our own free will and by our own hearts and the little that we know, and even in our imperfections, we praise him with everything that we got. There's no... Who earth we living on? Who gave us our life? Who gave us our children? Who gave us, I'm not trying to get into this whole preachy type of thing, because it comes out that way, and I don't mean it to come out that way, but it's just something that's in my heart. And Allah knows best, but this issue of RIYYA, showing off, we hurting each other. We killing each other. We shaming each other right into the hands of our enemy. And it's not right. You're trampling on your own people's backs to get to a place that's only going to destroy you and yourself. Subhanallah. And everything. I mean, what's the point of building all this and doing all these good deeds, supposedly, everything that you do, right? Your voice, your home, and you're doing all this stuff, but you're not doing it to get in or stand before him with honor and not regret. The whole point of doing it, I don't know what I'm getting out of giving you $1 or giving you $10 or buying you something to eat or helping my mom the way I should, or honorable to my mother and my parents and the elders, or putting into practice the good things that God and the good people that God put in my life that taught me the good things. I wouldn't get no benefit out of it if I didn't do it for his sake, and keeping in mind and keeping in heart that one day we're all going to stand before our Creator. Individually, subhanAllah. And imagine, it's regret. You're going to regret it. Stand before him when he's angry at you or displeased, I want to use, because I don't want to give God in his infinite majesty, right, a humanistic quality, bringing him down to our lows, trying to make God into one of us, when all this ugliness is going on in the world, and attribute this human, like, I'm glad, Allah forgive me, but I appreciate the fact that I only got to live through this life once, and I'm looking forward to what's next. This heaven that God promised, this love overwhelming, eternal. It's no more lies. There's no more deceit there. There's no aging. There's no pains. And like, I've been having a headache for the last 3 days from the stress of people in the world, man. And it's overwhelming that you got to move away from your own situations and your own peoples in order to have a space of peace and love and prayer. SubhanAllah. I can't stay here with y'all. Each and every one of your homies got a gun on him for no reason at all. And each and every one of your homies smell like all kinds of drugs. Each and every one of your homies call women that got their own moms, right? They got their own sisters, or probably got daughters too early, but still calling women bitches and hoes. Astaghfirullah, Allah forgive me for using the words, but I'm just saying. SubhanAllah, where our minds at? What are we thinking about sometimes, man? We supposed to get better, not worse. And if Allah choose to put you in a prison or somewhere to put you on timeout, you're supposed to go to him. Get on your knees or hands and knees and ask for forgiveness. Help me change my heart, so when I do return back to society, that I'll be an asset to it and not a detriment. Subhanallah. Showing off. What, to get the girl? You want to kill your brother that you've been raised with all your life? You came off the same breast milk, and you want to kill your brother just to have a girl that's not worth it? A girl that if both of you, one go to jail and the other one dies, right? She gonna go with your cousin, or go with the next man that's gonna pay for her phone bill, or buy her an A for $40. We killing each other for $40 of jealousy. SubhanAllah. And so now, this issue of RIYYA, it's a big thing for me. A huge thing for me. I don't want to be put on a pedestal that I don't deserve to be on or that I'm not ready for. I'll take what's gradually given to me by his glory and his grace. And if he puts me in those type of situations, then the flip side, I'm going to get to the flip side in a moment, which is why I even chose this subject to begin with. But I wanted to try to bring an in-depth understanding of this issue of showing off. It goes into so many realms of deceit and jealousy, and at the forefront of it all is our avowed enemy, Iblis, ash-shaytan, a'udhu billah. I'm going to tell you about an ahadith. One day, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, you look this ahadith up in Al-Bukhari and Muslim, Abu Dawood. We all know. I'm not trying to be too religious. But anyway, the Prophet ﷺ, peace and blessings be upon them all, was sitting around with his companions. And he took a stick or his finger, different narrations, and he drew a straight line in the sand. Straight, easy, and he said, this is the Sirat al-Mustaqim, something to the effect of, but I want to give you the meat and potatoes of it in cahoots and ties to my subject today. So he drew a straight line in the sand, and he told his companions that were around right there, it's good to have somebody there with you as a witness to your good, to your truth, to whatever it is that you know, because you know the world that you live in your home, in your society, it's a whole world of rats, it's a whole world of snakes, it's a whole world of flies and people that just don't belong in your setting. And whatever truth you bring that disrupt or upset their spirits, they're going to do everything under the sun to try to get rid of you, to try to get rid of that truth that upsets and disrupts their spirits. So no matter what truth you bring, they're going to try to destroy. So it's good to have someone or people around to tell your story, to tell the truth, that when you call them, if you in China and they in America somewhere, you both tell the same story, the same words. SubhanAllah, it's amazing how God aids and assists the devout, the true, the ones that come from the heart, and not afraid to be a part of change, to be part of truth. I want to grow the world, not destroy it. SubhanAllah. Allah forgive me, I'm emotional. Because it's hard to be right in a wrong world. It is impossible that you try to do something right? It breaks my heart to see, even in my own self, even in my own realm, in my own situation, that your own people stand in your way and block you from your glory and your greatness. My proof? Yusuf and his brothers, blood brothers, too jealous of your own brother because he getting more love from his father. Imagine you got all your children around, 12 of your children, 11 of your kids, right? So Allahu Alam, however many you got, but only one of them actually hears the good things that you try and adheres to the good that you're trying to give them, and the rest of your brothers so mad because I would be overwhelmed and honored that my daughter, chooses to humble herself and listen to me tell her the truth. Cover yourself. Obey God. God will protect you. You're going to be a queen one day. While you're young, practice those princess things so that when you become a queen is always aware of her surroundings. She looked back to make sure there ain't no devil behind her watching her frame and her shape, because even the sisters get harassed. In their hijab, you got the brothers and non-believers squirming and squitching and itching their way just to get a glimpse of your silhouette, sisters. Anyway, so I would feel I'm honored at those who, even in my imperfections, my children or my loved ones see the intention that I'm trying to bring. And they wise enough to recognize truth and do away with my faults, knowing that I got to stand before God just like them. But yet they abstract and truths from me and from the parents or from the teacher, somebody that I am after 3 o'clock, that's on you. But while you're here, I'm expecting I'm writing down everything you're writing on the board, principal, teacher, whoever you are, because I'm appreciative of the truth and the love that you putting forth, coming out of your own chaotic, probably situations to come and teach me. You're not related to me. You're not beating me or forcing me. and you taking out from your own time to come in, and all I can give you is spitballs and disrespect and talking behind your back, talking while you talking. A'udhu billah. And so Yusuf, of course, your parent, and he should, I'm not telling no parents to compare no child and love one above the other, but the actions speak louder than words. I don't gotta beg you to, he didn't have to beg Yusuf to take a bath per se. He didn't have to beg his son to make up his own bed, clean up his own mess, help me out sometimes. I'm too tired, and take the load off the mother in the fire. He didn't have to do it. He did it naturally. Something that we all given. We all wake up and see the right things, but then we just, it's the confusion and the difficulty about doing the right thing is in its simplicity. We got to make it difficult for our own selves. Astaghfirullah. And this all comes from showing off. Wanting that be the one. You know what I mean? Instead of putting in the work yourself, you think they cheated because who this regular person, this ugly, got sisters calling their own sister, this ugly, thinks she this and that. Going to non-believers, people that going to the enemy and backbiting your own brothers and your sisters. Going to anybody who will listen to go and chew your own brother, your own flesh, your own people back out like that. That's wrong. Allahu A'lam. Excuse me, I'm just emotional, man. This is an emotional subject for me. But here's the reason why I wanted to choose this subject. And Allah forgive me if I misconstrue or Allah guide my words. I'm gonna go ahead and just get right into it. The flip side of showing off, it's a second part to it, and Allah, I look it up, but I read it and I understand it, and it hit me hard. Is to be afraid of what the people going to say, what the people going to do, what's going to be taken away from you, how much money you're going to get or don't get from it, the benefits and the harms. It is to be afraid to bring about, live about, and be about the truth. To tuck your tail, be a coward. You know so much, you got so much, you practice so much, but when the people are around that they bigger than you, they got more money than you, they got a bigger house than you, more food, things that you don't have, you too afraid to bring about the truth. Live that truth, be that honorable one. That's the flip side of RIYYA. You get punished for that too. I don't know about punished, but it's dishonorable. Why would you dishonor yourself? If you know you're doing it right, if you know you read it right, and you're practicing it right, then don't be afraid to. Allah in His infinite wisdom will protect you. And who's to say? He might use you to make you an example of what to be as opposed to what not to be. So being afraid to stand up for truth is a flip side to RIYYA. Being afraid to tell the truth. Mom, please. It's been 28 years. Put the cigarette down. I love you. I watched Uncle such and such. Or I watched my sister's or a friend of mine's friend pass away from cancer, and I don't want that to happen. That's truth. Be afraid that, who you think you are, take the thing, smack you in, whatever she does, but you came with a sincere heart and had enough heart to come and ask with modesty, You don't go disrespecting your parents, but if it's somebody you love, then it's appropriate characteristics and steps to take to bring about your concerns to your loved ones. And if you can't, due to their ill behavior or disrespect to themselves or their way of life, befriending the shaitan. Some of us befriend them, and let's be real. Find somebody close to them. Write it down in a letter. But don't be afraid to stand up for truth. Don't be afraid to get down on your hands and knees and beg for forgiveness in the wee hours of the night. Don't be afraid with each day given to want to change something that you did yesterday and make better for it today. Don't be afraid to humble yourself and say I'm sorry sometimes. And don't be afraid to love your spouse the way they deserve to be loved. May Allah forgive us for our disrespect toward our spouses. We go all out in these arguments with our spouses, and that's all of us. You know, may Allah forgive us. And I'm still talking about the flip side of RIYYA is to stand up, to not be afraid to expose your weaknesses sometimes, to expose your vulnerabilities sometimes, but to trust God in the process, right? But in these arguments we be having, you know, these arguments where we supposed to be the believers in these communities, in these situations, but around us and our neighbors can hear us calling each other all kinds of atrocities. Our neighbors can hear us throwing things and disrespecting each other, and we supposed to be the Muslims. I'm supposed to be in that religion, and I can hear them talking to each other, slamming each other, talking about each other to anybody who want to hear. The husband cheating with all kind of non-believing $40 bops. I just learned that word, right? But I'm supposed to be, you know, they hear us being so disrespectful to what we say we believe. So don't be afraid to, you know, pause for a second in the middle of your onslaught of disrespect to your spouse or to your mother or to somebody you arguing with to prove a point of them being wrong and you being right. To look into your own closet, to look into your own situation and know that you've been just as deceitful or deceiving, or you've been lying the whole time. You got things that you know everybody got some fault. Everybody got some kind of, again, chapters in their book that they don't want read out loud. So how it is God gave you to me and me to you, and all I can see is your fault, and I don't see none of my own. Don't be afraid to stop for a second and say, you know what, you're right. I did do that, and I'm sorry. I did say that, and I'm sorry. I shouldn't have hurt you. Like the words have power. You know, humble yourself to your own closet. Look into your own, even if your spouse wasn't there, God saw what you did. God sees what you do. And sometimes your own people know how you are. And they too afraid to say something to you. They just give you ever see a child? You take them to the school. You take them to the school, you go to the PTA meeting, and your parent all of a sudden become this holy saint. You're like, you know, you was just whipping my ass with a extension cord, the pole, and the what? You let Fulan even hit me. I don't even know who stepped that with these niggas. I don't know who he is. Excuse my language. Excuse my language. I apologize. But I'm saying, and your parent become this whole saying, oh, my child, I do the homework with my child. I tried it to, and the whole time the kid just looking at you like, who are you? Who the hell is this? What? But they be too afraid of getting backslapped right in front of everybody across the room for them being right. You smoking in front of me, you drink in front of me, I can hear you at night with every different man or woman. You even dressed inappropriately at the PTA meeting, trying to present yourself to be this loving person, and the child just look at you. SubhanAllah. Again, the flip side of RIYYA is to not be afraid. You know, because if you really love your people, if you really love them and you tell them the truth in a way that's befitting to His Majesty's rule, not so you can be right above them or go tell everybody how. Sometimes these conversations is between you and them and God in the middle. But be honest. I'm uncomfortable with the way you talk to me. I'm uncomfortable with the way you live. I'm uncomfortable with us disobeying Allah when we're supposed to be the examples. I'm uncomfortable. I don't know how. I don't even have to yell at them, but I'm saying I'm not right. I'm offset. But because of your oppression, because of your, they said Umar, big old man, he was oppressing everybody before he became Muslim. Radiyallahu anhu. May Allah be well pleased with our Prophet's companion. Subhanallah. But he was oppressing everybody. They was too afraid to say something to him. I ain't saying. So they went to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is what I'm saying. Find somebody that can talk. Find somebody that can communicate these feelings. Because sometimes the people or the person not aware of their own oppression to their own people. After doing something for so long and not changing that behavior, whether it be, I'm talking about the wrong behavior right now. We do it. We make an excuse to make it right. And so when somebody comes to us and tries to, help us out with the situation, we just look at them, look them up and down, and as if say another word about what I'm doing right now, and then take a deep puff or whatever it is and blow it right in your face. Still tell them the truth. And if they don't accept it, walk away from it. Walk away from it. Let them be in there. Let them have it. You got it. It mean that much to you that I gotta watch my blood relative or somebody that I love that we supposed to be together on it. It mean your arrogance and your pride and your disrespect mean that much to you that you just overlook my love and my concern for your health, for our health, for our home, for our family. A unit to cultivate and be together. It mean that much to you that to show me that kind of disrespect. Lakum dinukum. I did my job. I approached you with modesty. I approached you with love. Nobody was there. I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm just trying to help us. Not me. Us. Subhanallah. Find a way to communicate. So they went to the Prophet ﷺ and they went to him and they complained because they knew he was a holy man. They knew he was a chosen person of God, right? You gotta talk to this man. He did this, he did that. You go. It ain't snitching. It's I want to be comfortable in my society, in my home, wherever I be, comfortable from the backbite and slander and pain coming from my own circles. So I'm not afraid to do it. I'm just cautious about how I do it because, no matter how much right you bring to somebody, they'll always only see the wrong in you. Crazy, right? It's crazy. Soon as you say a word to truth or something, a word to right, the first thing they say, yeah, but look at you. You smoke, you drink, you this, you that, you don't. We talking about the truth, not my fault, not your fault. I mean, we talking about something, what's right, not who's right. Let's look at both sides of what's being given and look at what's right in the middle. We haven't been praying together for 20 years because of a small issue. Allahu Alam. This is the difference between these masjids sometimes. We should, especially in our small town, we should be together. But because of small differences and because of putting the wrong people in charge and because of the leaders not having the right kind of sit downs, we separated. And that pains me because from my understanding in our religion, peace and blessings be upon the messenger, a rug is a rug, a musalla is a musalla. I shouldn't have to feel some kind of way going into a certain masjid, or feel the sisters shouldn't have to feel ashamed to go down to Fulan's masjid and be ridiculed, looked down upon, and they coming out of there with bad opinions of a beautiful masjid. A rug is a rug. I should be able to come into any masjid and bow. If they on something else, that's on them. But the rug is Allah is Allah, right? I should be able to be comfortable in that. But we too afraid. Don't be afraid. RIYYA, listen to me, brothers and sisters. I swear, the flip side is to be afraid to stand up for truth. Find a way. And if you can't find a way, if we cannot find a way to bring truth, like I was saying last week, make a hijrah. It makes a huge statement. Like, move away from them. I stopped talking to you. I can't. I don't know how else to explain to you. If I've been telling you or trying to come to you for years to try to tell you about your behavior and how you are and how you treat others, it's a great. So how you expect me to be your best friend? How you expect me to trust you? How you expect me to live with you and be around you and do anything with you if all I see from you is disrespect to yourself and everybody else around you? SubhanAllah. So don't be afraid. If you can't say something, if you can't change it with your hands, if you can't change it with your mouth, then hate it in your heart. I try, there's nothing else I can do. We can't keep allowing ourselves to be put in these corners and these situations where we know the truth, but we too afraid to bring the truth, and then allowing those situations to implode on us. And before we know it, we going somewhere without even knowing it sometimes and acting just like them. We supposed to have in the believers, old people who are of faith, old people of, mustard seed faith, love, sincere faith inside of the heart. We supposed to have an effect on the people. They're not supposed to have an effect on us. And if sometimes moving away, getting away, sacrificing yourself and sacrificing the great, then do that. They'll see it. Either they gonna really, you know, get worse and be like, I don't I don't care. You know, all right, you sit in your own. They gonna, you know, loneliness, loneliness, something that'll do something to you. Allah forgive me. Being alone sometimes, and you so used to everybody doing something for you. Now you gotta wipe your own butt. Now you gotta clean your own area. Now you gotta sit in your own funk and discomfort. You ain't got nobody to lie to or lie on or boss around or oppress and disrespect. You go ahead and you sit in that. And if that don't change them, then God using that person or that situation as an example of what not to be. Don't shoot the messenger. God forgive me. And may Allah, man, I heard this the other day and I seen it yesterday. May Allah make the grave of the Imam. We talking about spiritual leaders trying to make a difference. This man, I don't even know who he is, but I know he was an Imam, a leader. May Allah make his grave spacious. May Allah comfort the family and the ummah that that Imam belonged to, that he stood up for gun violence in his community. And they shot him in front of his masjid after. They shot him in front. Yo. But still, what's that supposed to make us scared? If anything, that should fortify us and make us stronger and go after them, you know, and show them you can't kill us all, you know. And the moms in the home, all afraid of their own children, packing guns and bringing all kinds of bad energies and evils into the house. They're scared of their own kids. Don't be afraid of them. Be afraid of God, that because you're not doing something is the reason why it's happening. Because you're not saying something about it is the reason why it's overtaking you and your home and your stress and everything's about. You can't even go worship correctly because all you got on your mind is, I got to go back home to, you know, maybe my son getting a phone call that my son dead in front of my house. Or maybe getting a phone call because my daughter don't want to listen and she keep, you know, tying up with these guys and these circles that's I don't know, trifling. Trying to watch my words, but don't be afraid. Stand up. You know, you try first, you change it with your hands, sit down and write a letter down, and sit down and you try, and you change it, use your voice and your heart and the good, you know, the good knowledge or understanding that you've been given. You try to, you know, talk to them, have a round robin, people there, you know, try to get the point across. Because again, sometimes we just not, go back to the first half of showing off. We so into wanting to be the man, right? Into wanting to be the queen, into wanting to be the one on the scene, the one that's, you know, we so into that we overlooking the oppressiveness. We overlooking our own oppressiveness and what we doing to our circles to get there. And so when you finally get to the top, you're a billionaire and you got all these products out there, you still find yourself alone and void of heart. And everybody that you can trust, they got away from you because of how you are. You don't give a damn about me, how I'm doing. You just want to step over me to get to where you're going. That's not right. But the flip side, again, is to be too afraid to save their lives, because you could be saving their lives. They're not aware of their actions and how what they're going through to get to, you know, wanting to have the most likes. I be seeing some of these, you know, in Fitnagram, you know, on Instagram or Fitnagram, how far these young girls are going, or these women are going to be the one that got the most likes. And you notice, and you can't help it. You scroll, you're going to see it. You're on social media, you're going to see it. It's not that you go looking for it, so you can't do nothing about it. But when you do see it, they locked in a room somewhere where nobody else can see them, disrespecting themselves. I'd rather see you make a video of you praying and showing your young teen friends how to pray too, how to get out of that, you know, box of having to be the boppiest of the bops. You know what I mean? Because if you look like a thing, people gonna treat you like that thing. You dress and look like a gangster, people gonna treat you like a gangster. And if you live by the gun, you're gonna die by the gun. And if you act like a hoe, people gonna treat you like a hoe. God forgive me for my words, it's the truth. If you talk like something, they gonna treat you like that. You know, is something wrong with you? You know? But don't be afraid to stand up to your own self first. And lastly, in conclusion to what I'm going to say, in this issue of RIYYA, showing off, the front side and the flip side. The one that needs this information the most is me, myself. You look in the mirror, reflect on the message. Every day you read the Quran or your holy book, reflect on the message. Make sure you digesting it first. Make sure you striving to put, they're not just words on a book, that you bring those words out and put them into your heart and into your actions. Poco a poco, little by little, gradually get into change and find the humility through change. That's why I chose the subject. It's a journey. It's a journey because most of us come from these rough behind societies. Most of us come from poverty and having to struggle and get up. But that don't mean you got to stay like that. That don't mean you got to adapt the character and the ignorance like that. You don't have to let that stay in your heart and who you are, because you become known by those characteristics. And they are ugly characteristics to have. Being a hoe, being a gangster, being a disrespectful, being a tyrant, being an oppressor, being a loser, being a liar, being a abusive person, punching women in the face, breaking their faces all up, and you become known by that, and it's a stench. It has a stench to it. Push people away with those characteristics, and Allah knows best. So I pray that we all learn something today. And I pray that we all not be afraid to stand up to the person in the mirror first. If that person is you, the one who has to be on the scene all the time, the one who has to have the most likes, pump your brakes. And if that's you on the flip side, too afraid to say something out of fear of the people more than out of fear of God, then you change that. And God willing, inshallah, let you digest your own words first. Let you be a stand-up person first within yourself. God will be so pleased with you. He says he open up and make ways for us from places that we don't even expect. Those sorries that you've been waiting for years, it'll come. Those apologies, they'll come naturally. That I don't know, skin disease or a break in from the norm, it'll come gradually. When you do work for God, God repays you in ways you don't even see coming. Don't always look for your blessing in the bank account. That's saying that you worship the money more than you worship what's right. Don't always look for your blessings in money. Sometimes it's just making somebody's day. Your child, your spouse, your loved one. Hey, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not perfect. Let's do it together. Show me where you learned it at. Let me try and, show effort. Don't just talk a good game. Try to be that difference. Be the difference maker, the game changer. And watch God move for you. And it's going to motivate you to want to go back and fix some more things about yourself before you fix about somebody else. And I know it's been motivating for me for years now. Became numb to it, but He in His infinite wisdom is amazing, man. God is amazing. Amazing. None other. Like, man, it's some things every day I do, but it's some things that you just got to bow your head and shed a tear of thanks. Like, I know that was you. Or specific prayers and things. Man, do something for God and watch. Might not come when you call, but He always on time. Again, this is finding humility through change. And I hope that I'm the first one that finds that humility. And I hope I'm the first one that changes something about myself, about my community, about this issue of showing off. May Allah make us better imams at home before we better imams anywhere else. May Allah make us better queens at home and princesses at home, better children and better spouses at home, and better loved ones with each other than before we are with anybody anywhere else. Home is where the heart is. Your home is your first masjid. Your heart is your first masjid. Your home is your second masjid. Where you lay your head, who you living with. If you're the only one calling to the right, then be the best example of that right that you can be. But make sure you're following it accordingly. Don't lean not on your own understanding. We all need somebody. And the best one we need is our messengers. They are there for as an example to us, You know, their stories are there for a reason. Allah mentions their stories to us for a reason. Take from their examples and their spouses and how they were imams in their homes and how they cultivated in their communities. You know, we're talking about chosen people of God and their stories for a reason. He's teaching us how to be in our hoods, teaching us how to be in our houses, and teaching us how to be in our reflections sometimes. Take from that, God willing, inshallah. And I pray that today is we use today as a stepping stone, a mark that let today be the first day, if that's you or me, that I make a change and leave yesterday in where it is in the past. Yesterday, the things that hurt you, the people that hurt you, leave them there. They don't want to change. They don't want to do. Man, listen. Make hijrah from the situation, and watch God move for you. It's amazing. It hurts sometimes because you know your next level sometimes don't include some people in your circle, but they put themselves in that situation. And Allah forgive us all if that's you and I. You know what I mean? Don't allow the devil and the devil's advocates to steal you and your family away from you. You know, some people are hoarders to be the devil's advocates. They set themselves in position to make sure they bring poison and rottenness into your situation out of jealousy and envy. Look it up. The descriptions of jealousy and envy that the shaitan, put to the people, using magic and using hexes and using things that they shouldn't be playing with. They don't even know the detriment in it. Because they want, these jinn, these evil beings, Allah forgive me for bringing it up and having, giving it some airspace, but they want something in return. Could be murder, could be this and that. Don't play with those things. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Don't think that you can open up realms and not know how to close them, because you can be opening up portals for all kinds of evils and energies to come through your home. Especially if you get it tattooed on yourself and you gotta be on demon time all the time. So that means no matter where you go, you got all kinds of demons and evils with you. We gotta check ourselves sometimes, man. Anyway, this is finding humility through change. I pray that Allah, sees something that we're doing, and He says He erases our closets for us. So when we stand there thinking that He's gonna punish us, He gives us a clean slate of forgiveness. I forgave you a long time ago. SubhanAllah. Imagine hearing that. Standing for God, shaking him. Because I'm not sure. I just don't know. So it says keep going. The right hand don't know what the left hand gives. Like, I don't remember. Some people came up to me a couple of times and they said, don't you remember such and such you did to that? I don't even know who you are, bro. A $10 can probably change somebody's life. Those people that stand out there with the signs up that will work for food, I've been homeless and this and that. Let the right hand know what your left hand gives. One day it'll come back to you manyfold and you don't even know why. You're just receiving blessings after blessings. Like, I look for those opportunities, man. It's at the bottom, where you find some of the greatest blessings, It's at the bottom, you finally, the world got off of you and you hit rock bottom. That's sometimes where you find the most peace. Get the best sleep. SubhanAllah. Anyway, it's finding humility through change. I hope we all got an understanding of showing off, doing things to be seen, and afraid to stand up to truth. Thank you guys for joining. Ask Allah to forgive me. I ask Allah to forgive you. It's Friday. Read Surah Al-Kahf, 18, chapter 18 of the Quran. We told to read that. It's so many knowledges that if we told to read it every week, it's for a reason. I mean, you probably get something different out of it every time. I know I do. Every time I pick up the Quran, I put it down with a new understanding, new angle at the truth. So now, get to Jumu'ah. Try to prostrate a couple more seconds, a little bit longer, and have a conversation with God. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he taught us that in sujood is the closest you're going to come in this life to His Majesty. In your sleep is the second, I think. Allahu alam. But I know in your prayer, you down, you humble yourself and put your face in the lowest of the low, and the one that's above everything hears you. As-Sami', the all-hearing. He hears your cry. He hears what you're saying. He knows how you mean your words, even if you stutter. But take some time in your sujood. Ask for forgiveness. Ask for mercy. Ask for change. Ask for humility. Ask him to bless me. Inshallah. I need it. I need it. The goal is, inshallah, by the end of this year, I want to own my own house, have my own thing, so I won't be afraid of losing. Because some people see your vulnerability and they take advantage of you. And you'd be stuck in some oppressive situations. And Allah knows best. Anyway, or have a house where I can go get some homeless and have them come and give them 2 weeks, I guess, get your stuff together and get back out there into the world. I love that kind of stuff. Again, I want to put this out there, man. I want when my situation to go and go into places like Odense and reformation centers and rehabs and put those people on blast. You want to get on the camera, you want to see here and tell your story, but I'm gonna monitor and try to get them to really change some things. Drug is not the answer, man. We hurting people with our actions sometimes. It's parents out here just finding out that their young teen daughters shooting up, sticking needles in their toes, sticking needles. They got put on to something that's going. You noticing the change in your young child. It's because they popping and doing things that they shouldn't be doing, hanging with the wrong crowd. And we so busy at work, parents and our loved ones, that we come home to them dead in the house or dead somewhere. It's a really, 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 you don't know how hurtful it is that when you die, the people you hurt with your death. So be mindful, young children. Be mindful, kids and teens, that your death and your person, you do matter. Don't think we don't care. Anyway, finding humility to change. I always got something to say, so I love to talk. I almost went over my hour. I like to have an hour. But I enjoyed my talk this morning with you guys because it's real talk. We need to change some things about ourselves before they change us. And before we know it, we're going to be left with regret standing at the casket of they're going to be standing at our casket, or we're going to be standing at their casket. I told you I did this. Don't be that. Regret, you want to stand in front of God with honor. You stand before him resurrected and he show you your record. I see you praying. I see you trying. You fell here. You got back up 10 times. I see you, you bringing crowds of good. You bringing multitudes of goods into, your situation with you. When you stand on the scale, it tips in your favor. And Jannah is, you got levels to heaven. You want to try and strive for the highest parts of heaven. It's like shooting for the stars, right? You shoot for the highest star. And if you don't hit that star, you'll just shoot for the moon. If you don't make it to the moon, you'll land amongst one of the stars. I think that's how it goes. Anyway, you guys know the saying better than me. Y'all understand? I'm out. Wow. Peace and blessings be upon everybody. This is finding humility through change. Wear your smile today. Let your smile. Don't let people in the world break your smile and take your smile away from you. Let your smile change the world. Show your gratitude for what God's doing for you in your smile. Peace and blessings be upon everybody. This is finding humility through change.